The alien ship landed on the UN headquarters lawn in New York with no warning. It was massive, gleaming like liquid silver under the morning sun. For 6 hours, world leaders argued about what to do. Then the ship opened. 3 beings emerged. They walked on 2 legs, but had 4 arms and skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Their translator devices hummed as they spoke. "We are the Galactic Concord. We need soldiers. Our worlds are falling to the void swarm." Major Jack Harlow watched the broadcast from a military base in Nevada. His scarred face showed nothing, but his fist clenched tight enough to whiten his knuckles. "Why us?" asked the UN secretary. "Your species fights differently. We have watched your wars. You are ... efficient." Jack knew what that meant. Humans were brutal, effective, willing to cross lines other species wouldn't. 3 days later, Jack stood in an underground facility as General Winters briefed him. "You're leading Wraith Division, Major. The aliens want soldiers. We're giving them nightmares." Jack looked through the observation window at his team. 20 men and women in black combat suits. Their eyes glowed faintly blue from neural implants. Muscle enhancements bulged beneath their skin. They weren't just soldiers. They were weapons. "These people aren't human anymore," Jack said quietly. "Neither are you," Winters replied. "Not since Project Lazarus." Jack's hand moved to the scar that ran from his throat to his navel. The memory of dying on a battlefield in Syria flashed through his mind. Then waking up ... different. "The aliens don't know what we've become," Winters continued. "They think we're just good fighters. They have no idea what Wraith Division can do." Jack watched as his soldiers trained. They moved too fast for normal humans, hit too hard. Their pain receptors were turned off. Fear responses redirected into aggression. "We ship out tomorrow," Winters said. "The aliens are sending a bigger ship." The alien ambassador Vexler arrived the next day. Tall, with shifting blue-green skin and 4 arms that moved with unsettling grace, Jack met him at the landing pad. "Major Harlow," Vexler said, his translator making his voice sound metallic. "I am told you are Earth's finest warrior." "I'm just a soldier," Jack replied. "We have reviewed your military records." "You have died once already." Jack's face hardened. "That's classified, not to us. We have technology that can." The sky lit up with fire. A black shape tore through the clouds, trailing smoke. It crashed 2 miles away with a boom that shook the ground. "Void swarm," Vexler whispered, his skin turning pale white with fear. "They followed us." "Impossible." Jack was already moving, tapping his comm. "Wraith Division, deploy now." The black shape in the distance was moving, unfolding like a massive insect. Smaller shapes poured out, heading toward the base. "We must evacuate," Vexler said, his 4 arms gesturing frantically. "Those are elite hunters. They will kill everyone." Jack's team emerged from the hangar, weapons ready. Their eyes glowed bright blue as combat systems activated. "Watch," Jack said. The wraiths moved with impossible speed toward the threat. When the first alien hunters came into view, massive, chitinous creatures with too many limbs, Jack's team didn't hesitate. They tore into the creatures with bare hands and combat knives. Bullets ripped through alien flesh. The wraiths took wounds that would kill normal humans and kept fighting. Vexler stepped back, his skin cycling through colors rapidly. "What are they?" he whispered. Jack watched his team work. "They're what Earth is sending you." Vexler's translator couldn't hide the horror in his voice. "What have your people done to them?" "The same thing they did to me," Jack said as he drew his weapon and moved toward the battle. "Made us into something that even monsters fear." The ship was massive, with corridors tall enough for the largest alien species. Commander Wexler met them in the ship's war room. The alien's skin had settled into a deep blue, formal, professional. Your team's performance against the Void Swarm Scouts was ... expected. This is Outpost Sigma 9. It was our forward base until the swarm took it 3 cycles ago. We believe they're using it to breed new warriors. We need it destroyed. Jack studied the display. Conventional attack? Impossible? Their numbers are too great. Jack smiled. It wasn't a pleasant expression. Then we go in quiet. Small team. Hit them where it hurts. Wexler's skin turned almost white. You would enter a swarm nest? Voluntarily? The massive structure loomed ahead, its surface crawling with void creatures. They looked like giant insects with too many limbs and weapons grafted into their flesh. Remember, Jack said to his team, we plant the bombs and get out. No heroics. Steve checked his weapons. What's the radiation level inside? We'll have about 6 hours before our enhancements can't handle it anymore. More than enough time, Steve said with a grin that showed too many teeth. They docked at an abandoned airlock. The station's interior was dark, wet, and hot. The walls were covered in a black, organic material that pulsed like it was breathing. The air smelled like rotting meat. Just like the tunnels in Afghanistan, whispered Lisa Chun, the team's demolition expert. Except the Taliban didn't have acid for blood. Jack checked the nearest pod. Inside was a Concord alien, but changed. Its skin was turning black, its limbs reshaping into weapons. They're already dead, Steve said. We'd be doing them a favor. A loud screech echoed through the chamber. Dozens of void creatures poured in from side tunnels, moving faster than normal humans could track. Looks like we get to have some fun after all, Steve said, his voice eager as he charged toward the enemy. Jack watched his team engage the swarm with brutal efficiency. They weren't just fighting to win. They were enjoying the slaughter. And somewhere deep inside, past all his military training and human morality, Jack felt the same savage joy rising in his own blood. Wexler had been right to be afraid. The eternal dawn. Medical bay smelled of strange chemicals as Jack watched the ship's doctors treat his wounded team. 3 wraiths had been injured in the station fight. On a normal human, the wounds would have been fatal. For the wraiths, they were just inconveniences. Your people heal too quickly, Wexler said, standing beside Jack. His skin had turned a deep purple, the color of confusion. And you destroyed the entire station. Mission accomplished, Jack replied. You killed everyone inside, including the prisoners. Jack's jaw tightened. They weren't people anymore. The swarm had changed them. There might have been a way to save them. Vexleros' 4 hands made sharp, angry gestures. We will never know now. Jack turned to face the alien commander. War isn't about saving everyone. It's about winning. Vexler's skin rippled with dark red spots. Is that what humans believe? No wonder your planet has known so little peace. Later, in his quarters, Jack couldn't sleep. The memories came back, not just from the station, but from before. From Project Lazarus, the pain of being rebuilt, the horror of waking up different. His comm unit buzzed. A message from Earth Command. Proceed to Sector 7. Investigate swarm movement patterns. Jack frowned. Sector 7 was deep in enemy territory. A suicide mission for normal troops. The next day, he gathered his team. Steve Reeves looked too eager, his enhanced eyes glowing brighter than they should. We're going behind enemy lines, Jack explained. Command wants to know why the swarm is moving the way it is. They're not just attacking, they're running from something. Who cares why they're running, Steve said. As long as we can kill them. Lisa Chun looked at Steve with concern. You're enjoying this too much. We all are, Steve replied with a cold smile. Don't lie to yourself. Jack cut them off. Enough. We leave in 2 hours. Their ship was small and fast, designed to slip past swarm patrols. They flew through the debris of destroyed worlds. Planets cracked open like eggs. Space stations torn apart. The remains of civilizations older than human history. The swarm has been at this for centuries, Jack said as they navigated the wreckage. Why are they suddenly running? They found their answer at the edge of Sector 7. A massive dark shape moved through space, larger than any ship Jack had ever seen. It wasn't swarm. It was something else. What is that? Lisa whispered. Their sensors screamed warnings as the ship scanned them. Evasive maneuvers, Jack ordered. Too late. A beam of energy hit their ship, shutting down all systems. They drifted, helpless. Backup power, Jack commanded. Nothing happened. We're being pulled in, the pilot said. The massive ship swallowed them whole. They landed in a dark hangar bay that stretched farther than they could see. The air was breathable, but cold. Weapons ready, Jack ordered as the wraiths prepared to defend themselves. A door opened. Light spilled out. And something walked toward them. Not swarm, not Concord. It looked almost human, but wrong. Too tall, too thin, with skin like polished metal. We've been waiting for you, it said in perfect English. For a very long time. Steve raised his weapon, but Jack held up his hand. Who are you? We are the Hollow. The ones who made the swarm, just as your people made you. The creature's face had no expression, but its voice carried something like amusement. And now we've come to see what Earth has created. Steve ignored Jack's order and fired. The shot passed through the creature, as if it wasn't there. Your weapons cannot harm us, it said. But we are very interested in harming you. The creature looked directly at Jack. Especially you, Major Harlow. The dead man who lives again. Jack felt cold fear for the first time since his rebirth. The creature knew him. Knew what he was. How do you know me? Jack demanded. The creature's mouth curved into something like a smile. Because we helped make you. Jack's mind raced as the hollow creature circled the Wraith team. Its movements were too smooth, like liquid metal given life. You're lying, Jack said. Earth created the Wraith program. Earth scientists merely followed a path we laid out for them, the creature replied. The technology in your body is based on our designs. Discovered in what you called the Siberian anomaly. Jack remembered the classified files. A crash site in Russia. Strange technology recovered in the 1960s. Why? Lisa asked, her weapon still raised despite its uselessness. To prepare you, the Hollow said. All species must evolve or die. The Void Swarm was our first attempt. They evolved too far, became uncontrollable. You humans show more promise. Steve stepped forward, his enhanced eyes glowing bright blue. "We're nothing like you." The creature tilted its head. "Are you certain, Lieutenant Reeves? The changes in your body suggest otherwise." Jack looked sharply at Steve. "What's he talking about?" Steve's face hardened. "Nothing. Show them," the hollow commanded. Steve's body tensed. Then, like a wave spreading across his skin, black veins appeared. His eyes changed from blue to yellow. His fingers lengthened into claws. "What did you do?" Jack demanded, raising his weapon at Steve. "What I had to," Steve growled, his voice deeper, distorted. Earth Command authorized further enhancements. Void Swarm DNA. It makes us stronger. It makes you theirs, Jack said. The hollow nodded. The lieutenant is correct about one thing. It makes him stronger. Show them. Steve moved with blinding speed. Before Jack could react, Steve had Lysa by the throat. He threw her across the hangar bay, where she hit a wall with a sickening crack. The other wraiths opened fire. Steve dodged most shots. The few that hit seemed to cause no damage. He tore through the team with terrifying efficiency. Jack fired 3 shots into Steve's chest. Steve staggered, then smiled. The wounds closed almost instantly. "This is what we need to win, Jack," Steve said. "This is the next step." "It's not human," Jack replied. "Neither are we." "Not anymore." The hollow watched with cold interest as Steve attacked Jack. They fought across the hangar bay. Enhanced strength against enhanced strength. But Steve was faster, stronger. Jack felt ribs crack under Steve's fist. Earth Command knew, Steve said as he pinned Jack to the floor. "They've been working with the hollow for years. The war with the swarm is just a testing ground for us." Jack headbutted Steve, breaking free from his grip. He rolled away, grabbing a fallen weapon. "And you're okay with that?" Jack asked, spitting blood. "Being their lab rat?" "I'm okay with being the future," Steve replied. "The hollow will help humanity rule the galaxy after they finish changing us into them." The hollow stepped closer. "Your friend understands the inevitable. Evolution cannot be stopped." Jack looked around. His team was dead or dying. Only he and Steve remained standing. "There's always a choice," Jack said. He fired at the ceiling above them. The shots hit something critical. Alarms blared. The hangar bay began to decompress. "What are you doing?" Steve shouted over the roar of escaping air. "Making a choice," Jack replied. He tackled Steve, driving them both toward the opening hull breach. A vacuum of space pulled at them. "You'll kill us both." Steve yelled, his face contorted with rage and fear. "Better dead than whatever you've become," Jack said. The hollow moved toward them, suddenly concerned. "Stop. Your value is too great to lose." Jack smiled through bloody teeth. "Guess we're not as controllable as you hoped." He activated his emergency beacon as he and Steve were sucked out into space. The cold hit like a physical blow. Jack's enhanced body could survive vacuum for minutes, not hours. As they tumbled away from the hollow ship, Jack saw a flash of light. A Concorde vessel appeared, weapons firing at the hollow ship. Vexler had followed them. Steve struggled against Jack's grip, his body changing more, becoming less human with each second. "They're coming for us," Steve said, his voice somehow carrying in the vacuum. "The hollow will find us. Not if I find them first," Jack replied as the rescue shuttle approached. The Eternal Dawn's medical bay was silent, except for the hum of machines keeping Steve Reeves contained. His body strained against the energy restraints, black veins pulsing beneath his skin. His eyes had turned completely yellow. Jack watched from the other side of the barrier, his own wounds mostly healed. Vexler stood beside him, skin shifting between colors of concern and anger. "Your Earth Command denies everything," Vexler said. "They claim no knowledge of the hollow." "They're lying," Jack replied. "The evidence is right there." He nodded toward Steve. "The Concorde Council wants to break the alliance. They say humans are too dangerous, too unpredictable. Jack turned to face the alien commander. They're right. But right now, we're the only weapon you have against the Hollow. Alarms blared throughout the ship. A voice spoke in the Concord language, too fast for Jack to understand. They're here, Vexler said, his skin turning pale. The Hollow fleet has found us. Jack ran to the bridge. Through the view screen, he saw them. Dozens of massive ships, black against the stars. The Concord fleet looked small in comparison. We can't win this fight, the Concord admiral said, his 6 eyes blinking rapidly. We must retreat. No, Jack said. I have a plan. The plan was simple and terrible. Use the Wraith technology against its creators. Jack would lead a small team onto the Hollow command ship. They would plant a special bomb, one designed to target the specific energy signature that powered both the Hollow and the Wraith enhancements. It will kill you too, Vexler said as they prepared the shuttle. I know, Jack replied. Why would you sacrifice yourself? Jack thought about Earth, about what would happen if the Hollow reached it, about what humanity might become under their influence. Because some lines shouldn't be crossed, he said. What they did to us, what they want to do to all humans. It's not evolution, it's extinction. They want to erase what makes us human. Vexler's skin turned a deep blue Jack had never seen before. Perhaps I misjudged your species. The battle began as Jack's shuttle launched. Concord ships engaged the Hollow fleet, buying time. The shuttle was hit twice, but made it to the massive Hollow command ship. Jack fought his way through metallic corridors. The Hollow were waiting, their liquid metal bodies reforming after each hit. But Jack had studied them now. He knew where to aim. He reached the core of the ship alone, his team lost in the fighting. The bomb was heavy in his hands as he approached the pulsing energy heart of the vessel. A Hollow appeared, taller than the others. Its face shifted, trying to mimic human expressions. Major Harlow, it said, you cannot stop what is coming. Humanity will be perfected, with or without your cooperation. That's where you're wrong, Jack replied. What makes us human isn't perfection. It's our flaws, our choices, even our mistakes. Sentiment, the Hollow said dismissively. Your species clings to weakness. No, Jack said as he activated the bomb. We cling to what makes us who we are. The Hollow lunged forward, but too late. The bomb began its countdown. You will die here, the Hollow said. Jack smiled. I've died before. The explosion started as a small point of light, then expanded. Jack felt the Wraith technology in his body begin to fail as the energy wave spread. The pain was intense, but brief. His last thought was of Earth. 1 year later, Vexler stood in the United Nations building in New York, the same place where the Concorde had first arrived seeking help. He was there to sign a formal alliance between Earth and the Concorde. The Hollow threat has been contained, but not eliminated, he told the assembled leaders. We will need to work together to ensure they never return. After the ceremony, Vexler visited a military facility outside the city. What he saw there made his skin turn white with shock. Hundreds of humans were voluntarily receiving modified Wraith enhancements. Not the Hollow version, but Earth's own design. Safer, but still changing them beyond normal human limits. We lost many good soldiers in the war, General Winters told him. But we learned valuable lessons. You're continuing the program? Vexler asked, his translator unable to hide his horror. Of course, Winters replied. The Hollow will return someday. And when they do, Earth will be ready. Vexler watched the new recruits training. They moved with the same predatory grace Jack's team had shown. Their eyes glowed with the same enhanced vision. Major Harlow died to stop this, Vexler said quietly. No, Winters corrected him. Jack died to keep this choice in human hands. That's the difference you never understood about us. Vexler left Earth that day with the alliance papers signed. But as his ship broke orbit, he sent a private message to the Concord Council. They requested soldiers. What Earth is becoming will terrify us all.